Today's special arrival, courtesy of eBay again, is this heat shield, which I've been looking for several months, and it finally turned up in Canada. I think it cost me £21 to buy and another £27 to have it shipped all the way from Canada. That is the problem with some of these builds, is just finding the parts can be hard, and the cost of postage is often more expensive than the part itself. Like I said, I've been waiting months for one of these to turn up. I missed my opportunity to buy one about 2 or 3 months ago, and I've been regretting it ever since. But to be honest, it was no less expensive, so I have this now, and I'm currently looking for the one for the rear exhaust muffler. So tonight's job is, this is going to get a dip in the electrolysis bath to rid myself of the rust that's on the inside. It's not too bad, it's like a surface patina, but it's really good at degreasing, because the bath it sits in is also effectively a washing soda. It's has like a soapy finish to it, so that'll get that prepped up for painting later on. It's a few days later, and the heat shield has come out of the electrolysis bath. I gave it a quick once over on the wire wheel to remove any of the loose flaky paint, and now I've started wet and drying the outer edge of it to flatten back any of the rough edges of the paint that still remained, and give it a smooth metal finish ready for some paint. With the heat shield, I want to use Rustoleum's black heat resistant paint on their spray paint. I'm a little bit conflicted too, because I also think that this could do with a coat of etch primer, just to give the paint something to bite into. However, I don't think etch primer is particularly heat resistant. Now, how hot this shield gets, I don't know. Certainly there are mounting points back here, which, I don't know if you can see that from there, but they're on little standoffs, and I presume that most of the heat from the exhaust goes into these standoffs, and some of that heat will be transmitted to the shield. The rest will be radiated heat, so whilst it'll get hot to the touch, I don't think we're talking about red hot. I mean, at the end of the day, this shield is there to protect you should you lay the bike over and have the heat shield or the exhaust up against your leg. This is the bit that stops you cauterizing your leg. So I think I am going to take a risk and use etch primer on it prior to the heat resistant black satin finish on there. And the satin finish should complement the exhaust itself quite nicely. This heat shield's in pretty good shape. There are a couple of little bits on it that aren't quite right. This corner is slightly bent down, and you can see where the bend is. It's just at this point here where my finger is, and it's just tweaked down. Again, I'm in two minds as to how far I'm going to go with that, because I am not a metalsmith. I think possibly I might be able to just tweak that corner up, but I don't want to make it worse than it already is. It will be facing downward on the bike, so it's kind of out of sight. So I might just get rid of that little ridge there and see what it looks like. But other than that, it's in really good shape. And I did manage to extract what was left of the stud out of the nut the other day, using some top level bodging involving a Dremel tool. Okay, quick dry run of the heat shield mounted to the exhaust. Just make sure that there's clearance all round, and that all the studs line up. I had to cut a bolt down and file it flush so that it would fit in there, because it bottoms out on the actual pipe itself. The front one goes right through, so there's no issue there, and actually sticks out the rear. So yeah, so happy with that so far. The next job is to clean it, degrease it I should say, and then get coat of etch primer on there. It's been a good hour or more since the last coat of paint went on. The light in here is terrible, but you can see how much nicer it looks compared to what it did before. I'm not touching it because it's still a bit tacky, so I'm going to hang it up somewhere warm to cure off. But I'm very pleased with the way that's come out. It's looking really, really nice. That's the heatproof paint, the rustoleum heatproof spray paint, and it's gone on top of the UPOL etch primer. It's looking pretty good. Tomorrow that should be dry. I'll give it a better handling just to make sure everything's all right. But theoretically that is pretty much ready to go back on the bike once it's assembled.